How's it going, everybody? Tommy Star here. Thank you for clicking on this video. Well, today's video I'm actually kind of excited about. It's my first ever tag video. Fellow YouTuber Outlaw of the Dead, formerly Blu-ray Outlaw, him and some of his YouTube buddies got together and put together this Scream Factory tag with 10 questions based around Scream Factory. And my good buddy Craig doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he posted his video for this on Facebook, and he tagged me there. So I was definitely happy to get involved in this because this is definitely a cool tag for Scream Factory. Like I said, 10 questions based around Scream Factory, which was rather difficult for me to put together. Some pretty difficult questions to narrow down, but I think I got it pretty well figured out. So let's go ahead and get right into this video. So the first question is, what was your first Scream Factory ever? Okay, well, I think my first, probably 2 or 3, I got without even really knowing what Scream Factory was. I mean, like, I heard of them, but I didn't really know a lot about it, but I more or less got these titles just because I wanted them. But if you want to know what my very first Scream Factory item ever, definitely the Halloween box set. When I found out that this complete box set was coming out, I about flipped. I mean, like, I just was so excited to finally have a complete box set franchise of the Halloween series. And this is just gorgeous. This is about as good as it gets, you guys. 10 individual amrays, awesome new artwork on the box, and every single film, which come this November will no longer be a complete set. Or October, I think. October, November, I can't remember. Yeah, will no longer be a complete set because we got the brand new one coming up. But this is gorgeous, you guys. I was so happy to pick this up. I got it like immediately when it was released. They released this one and the smaller condensed version, which I got both because I'm an idiot. But yeah, definitely had to pick this up. But this is my very first Scream Factory ever. And then just to throw it in, I mean, since collector editions are what I'm really all about when it comes to Scream Factory, I had to show you guys my very first collector edition, and that was Garbage Pail Kids. All-time favorite movie of mine from childhood. I've talked about this several times. I would rent the shit out of this. I wore this out. Nobody ever had a chance to rent this movie because I always had it. Not like, I'm sure there was probably not many people wanting to rent it, but I remember when this came out on DVD, I was so happy, picked up the DVD, and then when I seen it was coming to Blu-ray, still not really knowing who Scream Factory was, I just bought it just because I wanted it, and I mean, that artwork is just kick-ass. The only Scream Factory that's got green, everything else is pretty much black, you know, when you look at the spines, but this was my very first collector edition. Number 2, how did you first find out about Scream Factory? Well, like I said, I knew of them, but as far as like when I really started figuring out what they were exactly and what, you know, the kind of movies and releases that they had was probably through my friend Craig. I mean, watching other people's YouTube videos, like especially like Cool Duder, I would always see the new Scream Factory, you know, commissioned artwork, collector edition title. So I always knew that they had these various different titles, but I think I really found out about the whole shebang through my friend Craig. He's the one that really broke it down for me, explaining what Shelf Factory, Scream Factory was, and it's through him was when I started collecting the all the collector's editions and everything else. So that's probably when I really first understood and found out about what Scream Factory was. Number 3, what's your favorite Scream Factory artwork? This one was definitely tough, but after thinking about it long and hard, I would definitely have to say that my all-time favorite artwork has got to be Misery. I just think it's so perfect. I love the fact that you just see, behind Annie Wilkes, like, you don't see her from the front, and you just, you just see the foot of Paul Sheldon, and she's coming in with the sledgehammer. I actually got to see the whole thing. Scream Factory, uses a lot of different artists for all their collector's editions, but one in particular, Joel Robinson, who is definitely by far my favorite, which is he's right there. It's a picture of him with me and Craig. We met him out at Monster Mania. But we sat and talked to him, and he actually showed us the complete shot. Like, they cut a lot of it off from the sides. But there, if I remember right, there was actually, like, you can kind of see it down in the corner, but you actually got to see his table with the typewriter and everything. It definitely came out to, like, more like here. They definitely trimmed it down. But he showed us a picture from his phone on what that looked like. But I just love it. I love the colors. Like, just if you look close, like the skeletons and the drapes. It's just, it's simple, yet just so disturbing. And I just love it. I mean, definitely one I had to get the poster of. I even got Joe Robinson to sign my poster. I'm sure you guys have seen that before, but by far my favorite Scream Factory artwork. All right, next up here is number 4. What was your favorite, least favorite blind buy? I would say, starting with my my all-time favorite, was a movie that, I mean, I always knew of this movie, but I just had never seen it and always wanted to. And that is They Live. This movie was badass. By far the best blind buy. I mean, a lot of the Scream Factories were blind buys for me. If you wanted to get the whole Scream Factory Collector Edition set, you knew there was going to be a lot of blind buys, and there was. And so far, I mean, I've started watching every single Scream Factory last year sometime. I'm probably 2/3 of the way through watching everything that I hadn't seen before. And this was one of the first ones, and I got to tell you, this movie kicked ass, you guys. Everything about it, the action scenes, the big, huge fight scene that he had with, what's his name? Keith David. The fight scene with Keith David. And then just the whole concept where you put the glasses on, and of course the awesome phrase, you know, by Roddy Piper, you know, I came here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Just so freaking epic. And then the music in this movie, and of course just Roddy Piper, just one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. But God, this movie was so good. John Carpenter just nailed it with this movie. So this is by far my favorite blind buy. And then of course, you hear this, I think this was Craig's, but least favorite blind buy is Life Force. Big Tobe Hooper fan, and I was just really weirded out by this movie. I just didn't get it. Didn't feel like a Tobe Hooper movie to me, which, I mean, is fine. I mean, to me, it's definitely something different he explored, but it just didn't do it for me. I was bored to shit with this movie. I almost turned it off, but I just wanted to make it all the way through. And it's so weird how this is just the rarest slipcover and the hardest one to find, most expensive one, and ends up being like the worst movie. I mean, I've heard a lot of people talk about this movie, how they think it's really good, and that's great. But, and I mean, in my opinion, I can't stand it. I mean, I'm happy I have it for the collection, and I'm happy I gave it a shot. You know, didn't turn it off, but just really weird. I just didn't get it. I don't know, but yeah, my favorite and least favorite blind buys. Next up, we got number 5. What's your favorite non-collector edition? I was really excited when they announced this was coming. I thought it would have been so much better as a collector edition, but either way, I was happy to see it on Blu-ray, and that is definitely Gate 2. Something kind of recent. I think it came out earlier this year, or end of last year, can't quite remember. But anyway, I've always been a fan of the Gate movies, and Vestron, you know, released Gate 1 to Blu-ray for the first time a year or two ago. I was so happy when that came. I didn't ever think we'd get this on Blu-ray as well. This was an out-of-print DVD that I wanted to get so many times that I never did because it was just, you know, really expensive. I think I still have the VHS of this. This is kind of funny. But I'm not as good as the first one, but I still liked it a lot. Just you know, a big title from, you know, when I was younger. I remember growing up watching. And when I found out it was coming to Blu-ray and the Scream Factory, to top it off, I mean, I was super excited for this. So this is definitely my favorite non-collector edition that I wished would have been a collector edition. But either way, Gate 2 on Blu-ray. Thank you, Scream Factory. Number 6, favorite double feature. I don't really have a lot. I think I only really have like, no, 3 or 4 maybe, or something like that. So it wasn't really a lot to choose from. But I would have to say the Carrie double feature. And I think, I mean, these are definitely like, you know, how many Carries are there? I think there's 4 total. You got the original Carrie, and then you got the remake Carrie. This was the first remake Carrie. And then they put out a sequel to the original Carrie, I believe, after this. And then, of course, the brand new Carrie, which is the second remake. So I think I was happy about getting this is because it was the last 2 Carrie films to get on Blu-ray. Because, you know, of course, you know, the first Carrie I got the collector edition for. And then the remake Carrie, they just released, you know, there's a non-Scream Factory edition of that. And then just to get these final 2 Carrie films, to get them all on Blu-ray. So it's kind of cool. I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't even seen both of these films. I never saw this remake. I saw the sequel, which was, it was all right. I don't know. But just to get both of them to kind of complete the Carrie films on Blu-ray. So definitely a cool double feature. Number 7, Dream Scream Factory. What is your all-time number 1 Scream Factory release that you hope to see? I would definitely say you guys would have to be It, the 1990 It, which, as we mentioned, and that video I did with Craig during the Comic-Con announcements, it is possible because of their Warner Brothers deal, and It is Warner Brothers. So, I mean, just to see that get a, you know, special treatment, collector edition, get some new artwork, some kind of special features. I don't know what they could get. But I would love to see that because It is like my second favorite horror film of all time. And to see, I mean, I was very happy when it came to Blu-ray for the first time, but we didn't get anything special, you know. We just got, you know, just a standard Amaray, which I stuck, you know, in a red case. I mean, nothing special. And like you get, and this for special features includes commentary by director Tommy Lee Wallace and actors Dennis Christopher, Tim Reed, John Ritter, Richard Thomas. So, I mean, you get a commentary track, but there's, like, nothing else on here. So, to get something special treatment for one of my all-time favorite horror films would be awesome. So, I would definitely say that It would definitely be my dream Scream Factory. I would just cry like a baby for hours. All right, number 8, biggest surprise Scream Factory announcement. Honestly, you guys, it would definitely have to be what was just announced. You know, Craig and I, you know, we bullshit a lot on Scream Factory all the time. You know, things that we hope to come. Talk about their new, you know, deals that they make. And we were talking about possibilities. And one of them was Candyman. And we're always hoping that maybe they would get Candyman. Never had a U.S. release Blu-ray. We were hoping that maybe it would happen. And then all of a sudden, Arrow announced their UK edition of Candyman. And when that happened, I mean, it just became the farthest thing from our minds. And I never believed, you know, I figured that if it got a U.S. release, it would be Arrow. Arrow would release, you know, a U.S. edition of it, not just the UK, which still would have been cool. But when they announced that, like, it was the last one that Craig told me for the collector editions. And he said Candyman. I mean, like, it was a shock because it was like I said, the farthest thing from my mind. I didn't think it was going to happen because Arrow got it. And when he announced Candyman, I just couldn't believe it. And so badass that they're releasing an alternate slipcover. You know, I got my alternate slipcovers up there. You know, they haven't done one in a long time. And Candyman is getting an alternate slip, you guys. I don't even know if you can still pre-order them. You know, I pre-ordered mine immediately. So I don't know if you can still get it or not, you know, because it was pretty limited. But I definitely jumped on that. So Candyman was definitely the biggest surprise announcement for me. And I think November comes out. So freaking pumped. Okay, getting down to the end here, number 9. If you could have any franchise turned into a box set from Scream Factory, what would you pick? I think Craig picked this. I think Outlaw of the Dead picked this. But it would definitely be 100% hands down the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. I mean, easy. It's, you know, it's other than Jason, it's got to be the most popular horror franchise out there, you know, for marketing purposes and just everything. You know, Jason and Freddy are the two top dogs. You know, I mean, obviously you got Michael Myers and Pinhead and Leatherface, stuff like that. But I think, you know, even Chucky. But I think like what it really comes down to is for the top dogs, the ones at the top have to be Jason and Freddy, you know. And, you know, we all know that Jason got that gorgeous tin set. In Nightmare on Elm Street, I mean, I just feel like I just got the shaft, you know, you know, no special treatment, you know. You got this stupid little crappy set, you know. It's just, you know, you only get the first 7 films. You don't even get the complete franchise. And, of course, if you want to count everything, you'd have to count Freddy vs. Jason and the remake, you know, all 9. But, you know, on this set, you just get a little side slip, and then that's it, just a little amray. There's, like, really no special features in here, and just a bunch of, like, discs, you know, combined, you know. I think the first one is by itself, and then 2 and 3 are on a disc, 4 and 5 are on a disc, 6 and 7 on a disc, and then you get a little bonus disc at the end. But it's just garbage. There's nothing to it, you know. And I know a lot of collectors feel the same way out there, you know. It's just Freddy deserves, you know, a good collection. I mean, to get something like Halloween, you know, like separate amrays. I mean, I think it's possible, you know, just with the whole new, the whole new deal. The deals that Scream Factory have been making, it's definitely possible, and I'm going to keep my fingers crossed as long as I can that we will get a badass franchise, you know, collection of everything, all 9 films into one set. And I just think that would be badass. But you know, there's nothing even special about this artwork, you know. It's just Freddy ripping through it, you know. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, and hopefully one day, you know, my dream will come true and we'll get a badass box set of all the Nightmare on Elm Street films. Okay, so the last and final question here. All-time favorite Scream Factory. This was the toughest question, you guys. There's a lot of good ones out there. And, you know, there's a lot of things that take into consideration. The artwork, the movie itself, the transfer, the special features, everything. And I think it just, when it comes down to it, you guys, it just has to be this one. It has to be Misery. Definitely, you know, my favorite announcement ever. You know, when they announced this last year at Comic-Con, I was just blown away. This was on the top of my list for hopes, and I never thought it would be possible. And here it is, you know. And like I said, I love the artwork. I think that Joe Robinson did a great job. But I love this movie. It's in my top 10 favorite horror films of all time. And to see a collector edition of this, yeah, this is just by far my favorite. I mean, the special features on this are just amazing, you guys. I mean, they have literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 featurettes on here. Just, I mean, everything, if you guys can see all that. But yeah, I mean, the movie itself, the transfer looks amazing on this film. The special features, the artwork, everything all together. Definitely 100% my top favorite Scream Factory. But yeah, just for sure, you guys. Yeah, I was so happy to see this, and here it is. I'm holding it in my hands. All right, so there you have it, everybody. So that is my Scream Factory tag video. I want to thank Outlaw of the Dead for putting this together. It was definitely a lot of fun to be a part of this. Thanks to Craig for tagging me. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my tags out there. I probably definitely have to say, I think he's already been tagged, but WrestleManiac 1130, definitely want to tag you in this. I know you and your Scream Factories. I also want to tag Blue for Life, Jarrett. Definitely want to see your your opinion on Scream Factory, and then I would also like to tag Friday the 14th. Definitely. So Friday the 14th, Blue for Life, and WrestleManiac 1130. So looking forward to seeing those videos, you guys. So I hope you do them. So anyways, thanks everybody for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, thanks for those who put this together. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Hit the like button right down below. Drop me a comment. Let me know your guys' favorite Scream Factories, things like that. Share the video around. Subscribe if you have not. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.